All right, and we are live. So a warm welcome to each and everyone. Thank you so much for looking forward to joining this webinar today. And I hope um, you're able to join in Zoom. But if you are comfortable joining or watching on YouTube Live, that would be good as well. So you can put your interactions there. So again, my name is Phil. So I'm the host for this talk today, which is the Let Us Talk It Zipinar. We call it Zipinar as we try to zip in two informations in one session. So two different interesting topics in just 1 hour session. So that's to lessen the time that you acquire knowledge, but to um, produce more value in terms of acquiring information from two different seasoned professionals that we have today. So we have great topics to discuss right now, but to give you a little background, this initiative is made possible by Cogent Integrated Business Solutions. So they're an IT company based in Detroit, Michigan, and they wanted to give back to the community. So they created this platform in order to share knowledge for free. And for now, we actually have two wonderful speakers that we have today. And for the first topic is we have 0 to 1. So how to bring your dream idea to life. So for this topic, this will be delivered by Mr. Ayush Agrawal. And for a little information about the topic, it is actually to explore the transformation of dreams into realities through organized execution in our dynamic age. And regarding the speaker that we have, he is the founder of Night Lab Tech, and also a creator and innovator at heart. So having worked more than 50 years uh, with founders and enterprises to build visionary products for the community. And after working in consulting firms and early age startups, uh, Ayush discovered his talent to bridge business ideas with tech innovation, and his profound ability to uh, deep delve into a business and turn abstract ideas into tangible realities culminated into his own company. And Nightclub Tech, a venture dedicated to assisting individuals and businesses in manifesting their innovative visions. And without further ado, I will hand the microphone to Sir Ayush. Please take over.
Hey Phil, hi everybody. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, Phil, for that lovely introduction and for bringing me on board on this webinar series. Let's Talk It sounds like a very good initiative to get the community aware about a lot of different topics, right from leadership to business to tech to social and so on. So today, as Phil mentioned, we'll be talking about 0 to 1, a journey of taking your dream idea or your business venture to the market and getting your first set of customers, right? So I'm sure that all of you guys who are joining in from around the world now, you guys at some point in your life have had this idea or this hustle that you have been keep thinking about but never really got to execute it, right? So there are a lot of such ideas that we have which gets us to have sleepless nights, but we keep thinking about them as to what can I do with it, what would my business look like, what will my future look like, but we never take it to reality. So that's what we'll be talking about today. How do you take that your hustle or your dream idea to reality? So let me just share my screen and we'll get started. All right. So hope you guys are able to hear me good, watch the screen nicely, and
Not
get
yet.
the gist of
I,
yeah.
yeah, it's not appearing yet. Yeah, can you try again?
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. Can you see it now, Phil?
Not yet still. It
Ah,
says has started screen sharing, but yeah,
okay,
it's not
let
showing
me
up.
take a shot at it. Yeah. Yeah. How
Okay,
about now?
there it is. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, awesome. So let's get started. So I hope that you guys have a basic idea of what the idea is about or what the topic is about. That is your journey, where zero being your first, thought, a simple one sentence idea that you have in mind that you want to turn it into a business reality. It can be as basic as I want to run my own, e-commerce store, sell something that I do like homemade cooks, sell something that I, manufacture, or it can be something, like what we have these days are like SaaS aggregators or traditional businesses as well. That is just one line of idea that we consider as zero, stage zero. One being your first customer or first revenue. That's when you know that your idea has turned into a reality, and it can basically scale up to become a big enterprise later in the future. So the journey from your idea to your first customer is what we basically say as 0 to 1, and that's what we are going to discuss today. So before we start, a bit about me. So my name is Ayush, and I belong to this small city called Jaipur in India. And by profession, I am a computer science engineer and have worked with a couple of different MNCs, startups, and consulting, freelancing as well for numerous different founders from India and around the world. Uh, as of now, I'm founder of Nightlab Tech. At Nightlab Tech, what we do is exactly what the topic is about, 0 to 1. So we help solo founders, non-tech founders to get on their idea, actually get to execute their idea, take that idea from just being an idea to actual reality, have some product into that, right? So the process usually involves a lot of consulting, creating a brand for your product and for your business as well, and software development, product development. It can be a traditional retail product as well, it can be a technology based focused startup as well, right? And then finally comes your taking it to the market, on how you can launch it, what will be your target customers, how will you get earn money out of it, and how you can scale it further, right? So all of that becomes a part of this 0 to 1 journey, and it is, I would say, one of the most challenging part of your any business endeavor, considering that a lot of founders don't really know what all is in the store for us, and every day comes up with bigger challenges, right? So how we take it forward is we divide this journey into a couple of parts. So the first being your ideation, right? The spark, right? What made you come up with the thought, come up with this idea? So the ideation journey, basically we talk about the ideation journey, where what your idea is, whether it is something that can be sold in the market, whether there will be customers for it. At the same time, it also matters how important is that idea to you, because if you guys read stories about it, if you see the reality of it, there's so much of startups these days across the world, but 99% of them we are unaware of. 99% of them also fail, or never scale up, only majorly because the founders are not able to understand what to do with the product or the idea, or where to take it forward. That is mainly because there is that lack of passion or dedication towards that idea, right? So an idea can be something very simple, like I said, as simple as an e-commerce store, an aggregator, a SaaS application, or something that you feel really connected to, right? So every idea is supposed to solve a problem, and the problem can be as simple as you can see it. Taking an example of Airbnb here, when in 2007 the founders, it was a time of recession. They didn't really know what to do with their space. They didn't have money to pay off their bills. They just took that problem and tried to just see if somebody would be willing to live in their extra space for a short period of time. That idea emerged into something that we call Airbnb today, and it's so widely popular and used, right? So idea can be as simple as that. something that you feel connected to, something that can help you go forward. And it's not about that your idea needs to be solid, idea needs to be very, very fixed right from the day one. An idea can be just a brief of what kind of problems you're trying to solve, and whether you are accepting to take those challenges and take it forward, right? So talking more about this ideation stage, there's right now an overload of startups, if I would say, right now in the market. So before you actually fix on your idea, it's always better to do your kind of research, whether that idea actually holds still exists valid in today's market, and how much of that idea is worth, right? So that brings us to the second stage, which is research, the study, right? So research the study basically includes all of your practice that you do in this research state will be useful for you for the next 10 years of your startup. This involves a lot of things like market study, idea validation, getting your initial surveys, your feedbacks, talking to kind of people who probably might be interested in your idea, and what kind of team you would want to have, what kind of business would you want to have, whether would you be willing to put in your own money, or whether you this idea or this business would require funding. All of these questions come up under the study, and this study has to be done by the founder, you yourself, right? So every idea has different answers to all of these. Every idea is unique, even if you're creating something as simple as another Uber, or like a food delivery application, or a SaaS product. It might be your product or your idea has some differential to it than to existing products. So not everything that applies to existing businesses will apply to you as well. So it's always better to do your kind of research, your own study on the market, on your business, on the product and the idea itself. This study basically involves, so I would say that it's not sure that you would be able to do an entire of the research by yourself. Always I would suggest that go for look around you, go for people who are already in that experience stage, or maybe who like to have that knowledge, and connect with such people to help better understand what your idea is and whether it is something to take it forward. Once you are clear with what your whether that idea holds some validity, some worth in the market, then it's always better to do your surveying, your feedback first. So if we talk about products like Dropbox, Dropbox was is now like one of the biggest file sharing and cloud service today in the market. But if do you guys know that initially the founder just uploaded a video of his idea online just to see whether the people would be interested in. So he initially got the users before actually spending a single dollar on the idea. So that also comes under your part of research, where you are doing surveying, you are talking to people about the idea, see if you can get in some initial interest in your idea, whether people would be willing to pay for it, and what would be the minimal things that you would have to provide for people to start using your product or your getting you business, right? So all of this comprises under the research, the study. Going forward, once you have a clarity on what kind of problem you want to solve, what kind of market you want to reach to, and how you are going to do it, then comes the plan, then comes the stage where you do the planning. So planning is basically as much as time as you can spend it in, will be useful for you for a lot of years of your business, right? So planning basically involves talking about organizing your entire idea into a timeline, how you are going to go forward with it, and what all things will you will require for you to reach to the stage that you're looking for, right? So starting off, it can be as simple as how will you build your idea. So for example, a lot of us these days today see that startups and new age businesses are nothing without technology, right? So your first stage of planning would be, if you are from a non-technical background, or if you are lack of the technical awareness that you need for your idea, you would be interested. Your first step should be to find relevant technical people who can help you build your idea, who can give you the right advice on what technology to use, how to build it, and how to keep your cost minimum, as technology can be a very big cost for every business, right? So that would be the first step of planning. Also it includes thinking about your product, your roadmap, your budgeting. If you are bootstrapping, you would have to think about where all your expenses are gonna be, when it will be in the future. That's when you are gonna be able to get some money out of it. Will you be able to keep the business operational until you break through that and get start your business starts earning you revenue, right? So that finance becomes a very important sector during the planning and research stage. And it's always better to do all of these calculations right before you actually get into executing your startup. So after finance, the next thing that comes up would be how would the timeline of your product look like, of your business would look like. How would you go on? When do you expect your first customer to be there? When do you expect the tenth to be there? And how much of your expenses, your team size grows when that happens. It can also involve a lot of things, like a lot of businesses, if you see, have to pivot a lot during their initial years. If you see YouTube, if you see Twitter was earlier a podcast platform. It was started with the name called Audio, which was supposed to be a podcasting platform. But back then, there was podcast was not something that profitable as well, aware as well. So they did pivot in the initial years to become a microblogging platform that Twitter is now today, right? So you should always have that planning to be acceptable to flexibility and to change as per the market, as per where your product takes you. Once you have that plan of what your product roadmap would look like, how will your finances look like, how your product is going to go through different stages in the next 1 month, in the next quarter, in the next 1 year, and so on. That's when you are actually halfway there of your 0 to 1 journey. That's where you have a basic, and all of this is always better to be in a written format. Uh, the more you document, the more it is better for you to not go back to things and see what we did, why we did it, and what was the cause for it. It's always better to document all of it. So I would strongly recommend, whenever you are having these thoughts, or for me, for somebody like me, it's like 24/7 I'm carrying a small notepad, or just using notes in my phone to write down about all of these things, right from ideation, right from all the studies that you do, as well as your plan, right? So it's always better to write these things down. And once you have your plan written down, it's always better to it will be in an organized manner, so you won't have to go back to change it often and often that you would feel like. Once you are there, the next step is to build it to actually, that's where the execution of your product starts. So the minimal viable product, also known as MVP, is like the minimal basic version, a prototype of what your product or your business is going to look like. If you talk about in terms of, let's suppose, Airbnb itself, the example we were talking about before. So for Airbnb, you can still see their MVP version of their website, which was very plain and simple. And all it did was show the nearest homes that you can rent and how much you can rent them for in the state of California. That's all. Now Airbnb has become a lot bigger, as when they expanded, got into experiences, expanded to multiple countries. But MVP is the smallest, the basic functional version of your product, that you can sell it to customers, that people can experience and you can get validation on your idea, that yeah, people would be interested to use it, people would be interested to become a part of this journey of yours, right? So the minimal viable product, MVP, is usually built on a very super fast scale, because you can always expect a lot of changes once your product launches, and people will give you back feedback, and you would feel like customer is always the king, and you would want to make those changes. So MVP is where you have to just try to create the minimal functional version of your product, while focusing on the idea, that your MVP should be able to reflect your idea and be good enough so that people like the initial experience and would like to become a part of it. Now, as you can see, most of the people around you start off on an idea as a solo founder, or from a non-technical background, and especially people who don't really have the initial funds to run a business. So it would always be a great idea to get in touch with people who have the expertise. If you are from a technical background, I would say the first thing would be to choose people who have the expertise in other domains such as business, marketing, operations, depends on what your product or your business requires. If you're from a non-technical background, the first thing would be looking for people who are expert in tech and can help you build your initial product and the digital services around it. I would not say that this person should always be a co-founder. You can always find consultants, freelancers, even around you as well, who can just help you, guide you through the process. But you should make sure that those are, they have the experience and they have the right interest in your idea as well to take you on the right path. The MVP development stage basically consists of another subparts, which is understanding what your idea is about, what kind of a digital product will it work for, whether it will be a mobile application, whether it will be a SaaS product, or you can run it via a social media channel. So we have also, in our experience, we have created MVP of products which have just run through WhatsApp and Instagram as well. So all of that becomes a part of MVP, where you define how you want to sell it to your first set of customers. You don't really have to build an entire enterprise sort of software right at the start. It needs to be something as simple and basic as possible. The MVP stage basically completes when your idea becomes functional, where you can show it to somebody and they are, able to view the entire thing, get an experience of your idea. And it's always good to have a feedback loop in your MVP. uh, Anyways, for the users or the customers to give back their feedback either via survey forms or via through your product itself, or always you can do emails and cold calls, support calls, to get an idea from your initial users as to how their experience is, and you keep reiterating on the MVP until you reach a scale where you can launch it for the public, right? So our company Zero Night Lab Tech focuses on MVP development based on what your product is about, what the target audience is, what your market is, and what kind of a technology or a digital product would fit your product, fit your idea, right? Once you have the MVP, you are almost there. You have the product. Your idea is something that you can see visibly in a product, in a digital service, or in a physical world as well. Now it's the time. That's where you would want to release it to people, get see what the idea holds in the market. So, and that is also something which is not just that you launch it and expect for the customers or the users to just be there, right? So the final stage of our 0 to 1 journey is called go to market, also known as GTM. This is where you do a series of activities to ensure your product, your idea reaches the right audience, and it is convincing enough. The source or the channel through which it goes, it is convincing enough for them to at least hop on and get a demo, a trial, or just something out of it, so that you have the initial set of users that you can talk to, get an experience from, and take your idea beyond. Go to market is usually done in multiple steps, right from understanding what your product that you have created is, what kind would be the right audience for it, what would be the right target market for it, what would be the right sources, whether you should do email marketing, whether you should do offline publicity, or whether it will require PPC ads on different social media channels, or these new age, we also have influencer marketing and a lot of different strategies, right? Go to market is the stage where we understand your business, understand your target audience, your users, your customers, and that's when we plan out, create an entire strategic plan on how you can definitely reach your target audience. This go to market stage is what gives your brand the visibility and the awareness that it requires for it to scale forward. A brand which just creates, so there are like a lot of stories about products which are exceptionally good, solve a really good problem statement as well, but they never made it to the market or never became popular, only because they lacked the brand strategy, the brand positioning, and the visibility. So it's always important to work with experts who are into or understand what your product is and where it can land and how it can land. So go to market, once your product is there, the final thing that you would be willing to do is launch, right? So launching a product also requires organized, a planned approach on how you take your product to the market, and that's just the start, right? So we have just gone a journey from 0 to 1. The next journey from your first customer, once you launch your product, you get through your marketing strategies, through your brand, or through your general sharing, you get your first customer. But this is just the start. You would want to go from 1 to 10, from 10 to 100, and 100 to the next 1,000 users and customers as well, right? So the journey just gets started. But like co-founder of LinkedIn, Reed Friedman, says that entrepreneur is the one who builds a plane while he's falling down a cliff. So you always have to be ready to take on those challenges, because in this journey of creating a new business, becoming an entrepreneur, although it gives you a lot of freedom, there's every day a new and a bigger challenge. The challenges will never die, but from my experience, I would say that you just become better at accepting and working along those challenges. So yeah, that is somewhere all that we have for today's journey. I'm hoping that a lot of you guys, from the viewers, from the audience, have that dream hustle, or that side hustle that you want to start, maybe some idea that you have been thinking about for a lot time. I would say that time for thinking is done. It's better to start executing, taking your first step today. So if you are also somebody who's willing to or interested in taking on starting a new business, or setting up something as a side hustle as well, take that first step today. The first step would be something where you are maybe creating a simple to-do list, or just writing down about getting clarity on your idea, or anything around it, right? So it should be an actionable plan of what you are working on. So yeah, that's all from my side. Like I said, Night Lab Tech is where we help solo founders, non-technical founders, traditional businesses as well, to take an idea and bring it to market through an organized plan of research, brand management, positioning your brand, development, as well as taking it to the market. So if anybody is interested, if you guys want to have any kind of a discussion with me, take any kind of an advice, or just have a chit chat, you can always feel free to reach out to me. And yeah, that's all. Back to you, Phil.
Thank you so much, Ayush. That was very insightful. And the experience is really evident from those words that you have shared to us. So we are grateful for that. And since you mentioned how the company you founded helps businesses, can you share also like if you have experienced some failures when you were launching your business, and if there are, how many times, and how were you able to overcome it?
Sure. Yeah. So I would say failure becomes a part of your journey when you are starting up, right? Uh, it will always be that there are smallest achievements that you would want to celebrate, but then there would be this one failure that will make you, go back to step one all over again. So that has been the case with us as well, where we have, worked on products that have been exceptional right from the ideation stage, and we have done our part of stuff, but they never make it to the market, or because of some external factors, the products never get the right visibility that they are supposed to get. So recent example would be that it took us around a couple of months to build a product that was around the Indian stock market. And right, like a week or two before the launch, the government decided that the stocks data cannot be used for anything related to a gaming platform that we were developing. So that was a big hiccup and a hurdle for us. But it's always, you always, from an entrepreneur spirit that you see, it's always better to have that flexibility in mind, ready to accept that there will be challenges, how you overcome that. And it took us less than one day to immediately decide that okay, if there are government policies around it and we don't want to go around it, it's always better to shift your product from focusing on stocks to crypto. And yeah, that's what we did. So yeah, the journey always comes up with a lot of failures, but it's how you tackle them, it's what takes you forward.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for sharing that one to the platform. It's very valuable. And because we do have different experiences and different approaches on the challenges. So it's really gives value when you share something like that. So we'd encourage as well from the attendees, if you'd like to interact, please put your questions on chat, or you can unmute to interact with our speakers. And we have Shubham. You can unmute if you wish to yeah, ask question.
Yes. Hi, am I audible?
Yes.
All right. So, first of all, it was really nice hearing you talk about the challenges that one faces. My question is, how do we build a team without, like, in the initial stages, if we are, like, let's say, a student or somebody who's working and who has just started working and does not have a lot of money on the, like, saved up on the side. So, how do we build a team, like, especially if somebody is coming from a non-technical background? So, how do we approach somebody who's technical, who's like from a technical background, but we do not have money to pay them for their services?
Okay, all right. Yeah, thanks, Shubham, for asking that question. This was something that I wanted to present also as a topic in my presentation. But yeah, see, if you're starting on this journey of entrepreneurship, the first thing that you have to focus is on yourself. Becoming open, becoming social, and networking will help you get to places where you cannot imagine. So if we talk about my business as well, it just started while I was on a, just traveling around India and got into top conversations with the random strangers and started this entire business that has been now over 2 years old, right? So even if you're starting off right from without any funds or without any expertise, I'm sure that you would always know somebody around you in your network who have the right, maybe the similar expertise or can guide you in the right direction of taking the start, right? It's always better to ask instead of just expecting that somebody is busy or won't be able to help you on the idea. It's always better to ask if somebody is willing to ask. But if you feel like that your business is something that requires actually a lot of expertise or like full-time resources or bigger funds that you can put in, it's always better to take it in that stage where you can maybe right from the start talk to people, do a small funding round or like take a loan. These things also help a lot of businesses to start in the early stages. Even big enterprises take loans for their new ideas whenever they don't have the right resources, right? So the first thing, if you are building just an MVP for something that can be built by a small group of people, it's always better to look around you in your friends, in your social and family circles, to see if somebody would be willing to help you out.
Okay, thank you for your answer. My query, like I would like to elucidate on one question, right? So, what you said that would work well if I'm going to them for, let's say, advisors, right? But if I have something like an idea that would require, let's say, a database, a little bit of the entire thing, front end, back end, let's say, a basic app to be created. So how do we go that? Because nobody, even like even your own like cousins and siblings, they'll be busy with their own work. Who will be having expertise in this field? So they'll be busy with their own work. Even if we ask, how will it be possible for them to even like build that entire setup? That is what I'm asking. Or any suggestions if you have to like get good technical support. Excuse me, good technical support or expertise for let's say below industry rates, because places like Fiverr and all that, the freelancing platforms, they don't really work that well. That is my personal experience. So how do we go about that?
Okay, yeah. So that is also one concern that a lot of our founders have, right? That they don't want to work with freelancers that or our team members. They feel like that they are low on budget but need the right expertise, right? So it's what we also provide is like we don't always build the product using our own team or our resources for every client. If you are interested, we also do it using, if you are interested, we help them set up their own in-house team, right? So if you have friends or people, even you can reach out to, just strangers on LinkedIn, maybe connected through somebody or a referral, who can just help you through the guidance or consulting you towards that journey also, will give you a start, right? So and that is something that you can reach out to me as well if you have any problems around that. But if you feel like that your idea really requires a lot of work, a lot of effort, that is something your your circle or just people around you won't be able to provide with. You can always go for an idea where you can onboard people on minimum salaries, but if they are really interested in your idea or your product, you can always offer them a part like a equity of your business as well. That has always been worked for the initial early set of employees, and it's a good driving force as well.
All right. So your suggestion is either profit sharing, or I have to pay them from like on my end.
Yeah, I would say the first thing should be to have a mentor in the fields that you lack, right? So if
Right.
you don't have the right technical expertise, it's always better to have somebody who has the expertise and is willing to just guide you through it, or consult it wherever you require. Same goes for setting up your business, same goes for marketing it as well. So, and that's what we do. We also consult a lot of people to just help them understand what kind of technology they should look for, how and whom they should hire and become a part of their team, as per their budgets, as per their product, and as per their timeline as well.
All right. Thank you. I had just one more question. I'm sorry it didn't take much of your
Go
time.
ahead, go ahead.
So how do so a little bit about myself before I bring up the question. So I'm currently working on my third startup. uh,
Okay.
I sold my first one, and the struggle that I faced with all three of my startups is the same, that I do not know how to approach marketing. As in, like I'm like really good at drawing a bigger plan, a blueprint, but I don't know how to do the ads or what to create or what let's say what would resonate better with the target audience. So how
Right.
do I go about how do I approach marketing, because that's a real task for me.
Correct. So, marketing once your product goes to, you are done with the ideation stage, you have what your product should look like. Maybe you have a functional MVP as well. Then everything on your product majorly depends on your marketing, right? How you take that product to the, as I said in my presentation as well, right? How, through what channels, and how convincing is your product to the target audience. So great to hear that you have been in this journey for a couple of for some while now. How I would approach marketing is reaching out to people who have maybe in the similar industry, and who have maybe created products, sold them before. I would say it's always good to ask. You can find people who are from the similar industry and have been in your stage before. Find similar people either via social networking, or via LinkedIn, or reaching out to people offline. Cold emailing as well works as well. So reach out to such similar folks who have that expertise, and get a basic idea from them on what kind of industry, what kind of valuation, and what kind of target audience does your product has. Because every product is separate, but when it comes to marketing, the domain defines the target audience, and every target audience has some kind of specific sources that, or like channels that get you the best out of your marketing spends. So I would say better would be to get in touch with a marketing expert. It can be either somebody from your same industries and startup ecosystem, or it can be somebody who is very well expert in marketing and can help you understand your product, your competitors, what your target audience is, and accordingly take it forward as to what would be the right way to sell your product.
All right, thank you so much, Ayush. So the long and short of everything is that I just have to approach the right people and just ask and hope that they would, like get back to me.
Sure. Yeah. So I would say always keep a mentor. People are always willing to, provide advices and help free of cost as well, right? So reach out to people, because, get some mentorship. It will help you in the long run as well.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I'm done with my questions.
Great. Thank you for connecting, Shubham. Phil, do we have any other questions?
Yes. Well. Thank you so much, Subham, for the interaction. So, I'd like to share a little details because, um, Unfortunately, the second topic will be canceled for the second speaker has experienced a blackout in his office. So even the lifts uh, wouldn't work, so he cannot go out to find alternative.
Uh,
So yeah, so that's really unfortunate, but I'm really fortunate, Ayush, for answering, catering the questions to make use of the available time. So that's really appreciated. So if any collaborators would like to know, for example, just in case, does your company looking for expansion or moving out to a different country, something like that?
Sure. So I can talk about what we are doing in the present stage, and what is our plans for the futures, right? So in the past 2 years of setting up this company, we have worked with numerous non-technical founders, solo founders from across India, who have an idea so unique that they are not able to even relate an existing product to it and don't know where to go about it, right? So those are the kind of products that we are usually working with. Trying to get into the deep dive into the business and see, what how this business can actually be brought to reality. So 2 years down the lanes, we have worked with a lot of brilliant founders from across India and help them create their businesses that can scale up and become larger than life. At present, we are majorly focused into esports and business development solutions. We have recently worked on a lot of did a lot of projects in chess. So chess is gaining popularity as a esports, and it is becoming getting a lot of traction in terms of both viewers and audience at the same time from a business standpoint as well. So we have been focused to work with chess clubs, chess federations to create products that can increase the engagement and popularity of the game. So our expansion is right now focused towards focused towards esports, creating products around such similar games and all.
Okay, perfect. So yes, for those who will be watching this, if you are interested to collaborate, so there you go. That's a hint of what they're currently doing with their company right now. And okay, I think that's much of the questions. Anything you'd like to share or promote? Any activities you'd be doing in the future, or do you have seminars as well? Or yes, any live platforms that our viewers or will be watching this video later on can look forward to.
Yeah, so I am always available via email, or you can find me on LinkedIn. I think my profile can be put up in the description. We are not that, so I'm not focused towards lot reaching out to a lot of different opportunities. But I would say if you're starting up and not sure what your idea is, but you want to start something of your own, I would always say be open to opportunities. Look for becoming more and more networking with people. See what the problem statements are. It's very easy to identify what problems are around you if you just have the right mindset to be open and acceptable to listening to people, right? So yeah, so we are basically focused towards taking ideas to life, and not just working with solo founders. We are working with enterprises from across the world, from US, from Middle East, from Southeast Asia as well. And if anybody of you would like to reach out to me for any kind of a go to market or 0 to 1 or technical guidance, I'll be happy to help for sure.
All right, there you go. So yeah, again, thank you so much for that. So for those interested, you can just search Ayush name Ayush Agarwal. You can also contact our team, the Let Us Talk It team, if you wish to uh, get his contact information, proper permission, something like that. But to give you a hint, I only found Ayush and spoke to him on LinkedIn. He's very approachable and responsive in terms of chats. And here he is right now, one of the guest speaker. And So I was really looking forward to for us to have the second topic covered because it's also like a progression of the 0 to 1. So, but
True.
unfortunately, yeah, we cannot predict. So a blackout happened, and we cannot get the topic done. So, but much is being delivered. We have absorbed a lot from Ayush right now, which we didn't notice that we have almost consumed the whole hour for the session for the one topic only. So that's much of the information that he can share. So do not hesitate to get in touch with Ayush, and he has many insights, and yeah, he responds very well. So you can send him a connection invite right now on LinkedIn if you're watching, or if you're watching this one later on. All right. So I would say we can conclude today's Zipinar session as I have received a message that it's still like the electricity is still out on the for Prashant. So thank you so much for those who joined, for those who interacted. Really appreciate your interaction. And for those who were watching on YouTube Live, thank you so much for watching. And for those who will be watching this one later on. So we would like to invite you again next Wednesday. So the same time, 12 noon to 1 p.m. Eastern Time for another Zipinar session, which is we will having two new speakers and two new topics as well. So hoping we can cover two topics during that time, definitely without any technical issues. But yes, it cannot be avoided. So thank you so much, everyone. And we appreciate your time and effort. And for Ayush, thank you so much for the values and the experience that you have shared in this platform. We appreciate you so much. And so everyone, take care as always. And we can close today's Zipinar. Have a good
Thank you,
day.
Phil.
Have a good night.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye-bye.